Another complimentary winner on Thursday for you is the Blue Jays got the job done on the run line as a $1.35 dog against the Yankees, and I've got two more comp plays coming your way in just a moment. Going to take a look at the games between Houston and Detroit and Chicago and Tampa Bay. You know, last night I finally had an opportunity to watch the fourth quarter of Kobe Bryant's final game here. Had DVR'd it. Of course, I knew very well, as everybody else did, after reading and seeing the various TV reports, his 60-point performance in his finale. And let's face it was a fitting finish. Perfect place. I mean, it was a Hollywood finish right there in Los Angeles, right? You couldn't ask for anything more. But in reality, as we all know, I mean, Kobe was a mediocre player this year, right? I mean, mediocre compared to his career heights. In reality, he wasn't that good. He was washed up a couple of years ago. But listen, it's great to see him go out with a flourish because so many of our sports stars don't. When I think about Muhammad Ali, who was clearly a shot fighter when Larry Holmes beat the hell out of him out in Las Vegas, and then a few months later, ending his career in front of a few hundred people in the Bahamas against Trevor Berbick in 3 rounds where they were using a cowbell between the rounds to signal the end of each one and the start of the next. I mean, that's how bad. And we see so many boxers go out that way. I mean, Jesus, I could spend probably a whole video report talking about that. But it's just not in boxing. As a kid, I remember reading a guy who I'd never seen play, Gale Sayers, deciding to hang it up after I think he fumbled 2 times in a preseason game on kickoff returns as he never was able to come back from all those devastating knee injuries. I do vaguely remember seeing Willie Mays stumble under a fly ball for what was he playing for the Mets in either the World Series or the NLCS back in his waning days when he was no longer that player. You know, Hank Aaron finishing up his career with the Milwaukee Brewers. He was a shot player 3 years earlier. So many examples of that. The guys that go out on top. The guys like Jim Brown who say, hey, I've had enough. I'm just walking away. Another guy I never happened to see. To me, of all the guys I read about, I would probably have to say that Ted Williams did it the best. I mean, obviously long before my time, but the guy hits his 521st career homer and his final at-bat at Fenway Stadium, decides to retire right then and skip the Red Sox's final 3 games of that season at New York against the Yankees, walks away at the age of 42, hit .316 with 29 home runs and 72 RBIs. A real comeback season for him because the year before he only had 10 homers and 43 ribbies. That's the way to go out. Guys going out on top. That's what you love to see. So, listen, Kobe had a great game. The farewell tour lasted 82 games. It took forever, but certainly an entertaining one to watch. Hey, listen, complimentary plays here. The first play I'm going to go with the White Sox as a -115 favorite at Tampa Bay. White Sox off to a fine 7-2 start. They're going with Chris Sale, who surprisingly has been the worst, and I use that term very loosely, worst performing pitcher in their rotation so far. Yes, he won his first 2 starts, winning at Oakland, winning at home against Cleveland, worked 7 innings in both of those contests, allowed 13 hits, however, in the games, and only 14 strikeouts. I say 14 strikeouts only in 14 innings because last year, even though he was continually victimized by lack of offensive support, in 31 starts last year, he pitched 208.2 innings. Struck out 274 batters, only walked 42. That's the type of ratio everybody would dream of, right? Now, he has lost his last 3 starts against Tampa. In fact, 2 and 4 lifetime and 6 career starts against the Rays with an earned run average of 4.66. But, again, the White Sox are off to a fast start, winning 7 of 9, 4 straight after a 3-game sweep of the 0-9 Twins in Minnesota to start this current road trip. Tampa did win 5 of 6 against Chicago last year, including all 3 games at home, but the Rays are the team that are struggling right now. A 3-6 start. Their offense, well, it's offensive. That's the best thing I could possibly say. Last 2 games against the Indians, they lost them both. They had a total of 1 run and 10 hits in those 18 innings. They're batting .210 through 9 games. Jake Odorizzi is going for Tampa. You know, he had 2 different seasons last year. Prior to the All-Star break, he was phenomenal. 2.30 earned run average in 13 starts. After the All-Star break, because he was bothered by an oblique injury, 4.34 earned run average in 15 starts. Didn't pitch particularly well. against the Orioles in Baltimore on Sunday, giving up 4 runs and 9 hits in 6 innings. Listen, the White Sox have the better pitcher. They're off to the better start. They're hitting the ball better. A 115 favorite. I've got to go with them. I talked at length yesterday about how to play that Blue Jays game against New York, telling you that, yeah, you could lay the $1.50, 55, or you could simply take a better shot, a smaller rated play, put them on the run line, and look for plus money. And that's how it worked out. And I told you that if I was betting them yesterday, I would have made them a $5 play, my lowest rated play on the run line. Well, we have a similar scenario here tonight with the Houston game against Detroit. Now, the Tigers are off to a 4-0 road start, and they're hitting the hell out of the ball. But Houston, well, they ain't hitting anything, okay? The Astros certainly struggling. Looked like they were going to turn the corner when, in a rematch of last year's postseason series, they opened the 4-game homestand in their home opener, beating the Royals the other night. And then Kansas City came right back and took the final 3 games in the series. This Astros team is not hitting the ball. That's the bottom line, okay? This is the reason that they're 3-7 so far. Their team batting average, 194 with 6 runs scored the past 3 days in those losses against Kansas City. And again, the Tigers are bashing the ball. They're 4-0 on the road. But then you come to the pitching matchup. Dallas Keuchel against Mike Pelfrey. Keuchel made me a fortune last year. A fortune. I mean, this guy last year, 15-0 in his 18 home starts. His earned run average in him 1.46, okay? 14 of the 15 wins were by 2 runs or more, which made him a run line darling. And most of the times, I got him at plus money. So he made 18 starts last year at home. He won 15 of them. 14 of the 15 were by 2 runs or more. Anyway, you slice it, guys. A tremendous moneymaker. In fact, if you go back further, I had found a stat that in his last 21 starts at home at Minute Maid Park, and that includes his postseason win against Kansas City last year, which was also a run line win because he won that game 4-2. He is 16-0 with a 1.55 earned run average in those outings. Now, did he pitch that well in his first 2 starts? No, but they were also on the road. Took on the Yankees in his first start. An okay outing in the Bronx, 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 runs allowed, 5 strikeouts, only 5 strikeouts, and 4 walks. His second start at Milwaukee against the light-hitting Brewers, he really struggled. 5 2/3 innings of work, 6 hits, 3 runs allowed, 8 strikeouts, but he walked 6 batters. This guy only walked 51 batters last year in 232 innings. He walked 10 in his first 2 starts over 12 2/3 innings this season. I think everything comes back tonight. Even though the Tigers are hitting and the Astros are not, how can I go against Dallas at home? So this would be another situation that if I was personally playing this game, I would make it a $5 play. I take Houston. Now, you're not getting the plus money like you did last night with Toronto. You're only getting Houston at maybe plus $1.05. Personally, I would probably wait till later in the day because I think that line will go up. Maybe you get them at $1.10. And the other reason to go with Houston tonight is that the Tigers are going with Mike Pelfrey. They went out and they signed him to a 2-year, $16 million deal. Just a little sidebar here. So you go out and you spend $16 million on Mike Pelfrey. You go out and spend some good money on Jordan Zimmerman. You could have paid some better money and just kept Max Scherzer and been much, much happier. Just my own thought. Pelfrey, this is a guy who doesn't strike out many guys. He puts the ball in play a lot. Teams love facing him. Last year, 4.7 strikeouts per 9 innings. First start this year, at Baltimore on Sunday. Or no, was it Baltimore? Yeah, I think it was against Baltimore. Did not pitch well. Listen, bottom line last year, 30 starts while pitching for the Twins. Had an earned run average of 4.26. 164 2/3 innings worked. 198 hits. 45 base walks issued. That's 243 base runners in 164 innings. Again, it's like I said with Nathan Eovaldi last night. You know, every time this guy must go into the throw a pitch, he must be in the stretch because he's got runners on base. So again, his first start gave up 6 runs, 8 hits, and 3 2/3 innings against, I think it was Baltimore on Saturday. So I'm going to go against him, and I'm going to take Houston on the run line as your other complimentary play. That'll do it, guys. I wish you well, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow when we do this one more time. And, of course, tomorrow the NBA playoffs get underway. Can't wait. Good luck, everyone.